Uh, h- hey, I don't know how to start a video like this. Hi, I've missed you. So this video is a really difficult one to make, and there's no sense in kind of dancing around the issue. You've likely already read the title before clicking on the thumbnail. Um, I'm leaving DevTips. That's the news. I'm leaving DevTips. So for the past year, I've sat on the sidelines debating on what to do. I love YouTube. I love DevTips. I love the interactions with everyone. I love the impact that DevTips has on the lives of a lot of people, and the interactions that I've had with some of you in real life and online have been amazing. You know, and not everybody gets to have this experience. Not everybody gets to build something that becomes this big. Literally millions of people have seen my work on this channel, and to me, that's amazing. That is amazing. And it's even more rare when you get to make something like this and it lives on past your involvement. And this is why I'm so happy to tell you that DevTips will not be shutting down. The guest hosts that you guys have seen on the channel lately, MPJ and David, have agreed to take on full ownership of the channel. And I can't think of a better team to keep DevTips alive. They really do embody the spirit of what I've been trying to make this whole time. I mean, they certainly are qualified in terms of like technical knowledge, but more than that, they just display that encouragement and that friendliness and fun and the heart of what makes DevTips special. So I'm going to say goodbye now. I have an interview that I want to share with you right now. I'm going to cut to that. It's me and MPJ and David talking about what their vision is for the channel coming up. And just, trust me, it only gets better from here. Question, you guys have been uploading for a few videos now to the DevTips channel. How's that going for you?
Really, really well. We've been sort of amazed with the reception that we had this idea of building the React app from start to finish, just like this high-fidelity prototype. And we didn't really know what the audience would think about that, but they have really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but a few.
Where's Travis?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny, man? Like my wife is watching your series and she never watched any of my stuff, but she's like, oh, I want to know React. So she's watching it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, but the idea with the series was to like see like how does we work with the DevTips audience? Do they even like us? Can we produce something that DevTips audience likes?
Totally. I mean, that's one of the reasons like that I asked you guys to start guest posting on DevTips is because not only are you like obviously in control of the content, you know what you're talking about, but there's a certain cadence and kind of attitude that you guys carry pretty well. And I think it's a really great fit for what DevTips is, what it has been, and like what the audience has come to expect from the kind of a brand. But I want to know also about your other channel, FunFunFunction. Why did you start that channel, and kind of like what did you set out as to be like your difference between everything else that existed at the time?
So I have a background in video production and theater, and I felt like I had kind of plateaued a little bit as a programmer. So I wanted to do something that could like fuse those two skills together. Mm-hmm. And eventually I ended up like a YouTube channel would be a really great fit. I started that. One of the things, I think that you had been going with DevTips for about almost a year when I started out. Mm-hmm. So, DevTips was, of course, like the dominant channel, which was like it was kind of like to be honest, I kind of construed you a little bit like an enemy in my head. But it was kind of like this.
I didn't know that.
Driven by jealousy, like, God, this guy is so good. I want to like kill him.
Kill.
Like because it was exactly what I wanted to do. Like all the other channels were basically like, oh, people doing like boring tutorials, like screen recordings, but you really made a show out of it.
Mhm.
Like cadence, because that's one of the core things that I really want to do. I wanted FunFunFunction to be a show, like a weekly show that you can tune into to like make you feel good about programming on
Mhm.
Monday. Like not necessarily like this database of tutorials like that I build up over time that people search for and then leave, but something that you can actually follow and like reliably get something, some nugget every week.
Yeah, I remember the first video that I watched of FunFunFunction that made me understand what you were going for. So not the first video I watched of it, but the first one that I really caught the vision of it. And you were just like walking around a park
Oh.
in the cold. Do you remember this one? And you're talking.
Quarry? He finds a quarry in one of those walkings.
He finds a quarry. Oh, I just remember it was really cold, and you were talking about being inspired or something like that.
Oh, the motivation one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually a video. This interesting backstory to that one is that I actually was about to do the very thing I talked about earlier, like actually optimizing for what video would get me a lot of views.
Mm-hmm.
Like the search engine tool thing and look what people search for on YouTube, and it was like some ES6 thing that would get me a lot of views, and like my motivation just dropped through the floor. I just was not able to do it, and then I just okay, I have to make a video, so I'll make a video about how I cannot make a video.
That's always good. It's like singing a song about how you want to write a good song or something like that.
Exactly.
So what have you learned from doing FunFunFunction all this time that will inform how you want to kind of start working with DevTips?
There's a lot of when you wrote a piece of text and when we during our conversations, and you said that you used actually the three words that are extremely close to what I define the channel. We haven't talked about how I define a channel, but you still like managed to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you use the term encouragement, friendliness, and fun. And I use encouraging, personal, and fun.
Mm-hmm.
So encouraging is I accidentally dropped this quote a couple of months back where I said that feeling of confusion is your friend. It means you're learning. It's like very FunFunFunction is very focused around growth and not necessarily so much like producing results in the moment. And I think that really that's one of the things that we share with DevTips.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, and then personal. Like there is this concept that floated around in the developer community for like it was big, especially big a couple of years ago. That was the 10x programmer, which is this the idea of this programmer that is 10 times better than the average. And I really hate that term.
Oh, I do.
It's absolutely disgusting because great software is built by great teams, not great programmers. And we have enough imposter syndrome as it is without unrealistic bullshit like that. Like it's about feeling good about where you are and like being focused on growth and being focused on making the people around you grow. So yeah, we show a lot of mistakes on video. I don't edit out my mistakes. I could make a perfect video where I don't make any perfect mistake, and then people wouldn't comment, why are you so bad at typing? But I want it to be that way. I want to show like the flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it fun. It's very important to programming is something that you do for such a long time, and like it's something it shares with a lot of creative crafts, of course, but stamina is very important. like a lot more important than like being smart. So you have to like find ways to stay excited about programming constantly, and like find ways of like how can we find joy in this constantly for years and years and years. And that is I think that's signifies the three concepts of FunFunFunction, like encouragement, personality, and fun, or personal and fun.
Encouragement, personality, and fun. That's really, I mean, that exactly is what I see in FunFunFunction, and what I really am hoping you guys continue on as you work with DevTips as well. That's really great. I want to talk about the audience for a second of DevTips. What can the long-term viewers of DevTips expect in this next kind of next chapter of DevTips, when you guys are taking over as hosts of the channel?
We're hoping that, so at FunFunFunction, it has grown into sort of a community. And we hope to embrace that with DevTips, that if you're watching DevTips, you will feel like you're a member of this community, and you will be able to reach out for help, or like that the community will help each other out to just, try to build a community. And that's something me and Matthias have done previously, like in our careers.
That's awesome. Building a community is really important.
To be able to do that, we can't promise anything, but that's our goal.
As part of that, we hope to have an audience that feels like they influence and drive the direction of the channel. So what you're gonna see a lot of coming up is not necessarily more of the content of what we just produce and what we do produce in the channel. That was more of an experiment. You're going to see more. Whoa, the sun is coming up. More experiments. Like, we're going to try out a lot of different formats, a lot of different types of content, and really listen to the feedback of the audience and see what resonates with people, and listen to the comments and see like, okay, this is an interesting idea, we'll try that. So we don't have too much of a firm idea, other than that we want to create a community and have a high degree of interaction with the audience.
Well, that's really exciting, and I know that I'll be tuning in to keep tabs on what's going on, even though I won't be in front of the camera anymore. I want to thank you guys for your time, getting up this early and hanging out with me. I've had such a pleasure in knowing you so far, and I think this is like a really, really great move for DevTips in general. So again, thanks for accepting my my request to come and be the host of the show.
So much. We are we are really humbled.
Yeah, it's really humbling to be able to keep on the work that you what you created, and just like push it forward and making it even better.
And so this is it. I don't really know how to say goodbye, other than if you want to keep the conversation going or just say hi. I'll still be making YouTube content on my personal channel, Travis Nielsen, but it'll be a lot more personal. It's not going to be coding tutorials necessarily, or probably ever at all. But yeah, come say hello, and just kind of like, I think I need to upload something first. But yeah, and then on Instagram, I've been uploading kind of actively. Anyway, if this has been, I mean, you know what? I don't even know. I don't know how to say goodbye. I'm just gonna kind of float off the screen. Okay. That's kind of YouTube-y exit.